Very good evening. Wonderful to see you all gathered here. We've been awaiting with a lot of eagerness for this particular moment. Greetings to the director, the deans, and all the faculty and the staff gathered here. At the outset, may I request the director, Dean Professor Sebastian, Dean Professor Sudarshan Kuntrulu, and Dean Professor Ananda Kunithan to please take the seats on the dais, please. almost feel like saying, dearly beloved, and then going on with that. But sounds of music filling the valley of our auditoriums. And someone said, may 1,000 flowers bloom. Well, we definitely have 112 flowers all set to bloom in a few years' time. Well, as a tradition at IIM Kozhikode, along with welcoming all of you, we have the tradition of inviting the divine spirits and the good spirits for the well-being of all here and for the reasons that we are gathered here. May I request the audience to rise for the invocation and invite the deans and the directors for the lighting of the lamp. And may I request two of our students, Raksha Kandaswamy and Pratham Handa. Will you please step forward? Join the director and the deans to light the lamp, please.
Maitreem bhajata akhila hrijatri. Maitreem bhajata akhila hrijatri. Atmavadeva paranapi pashyata. Atmavadeva paranapi pashyata. Yuddham tyajata spardham tyajata. Yuddham tyajata spardham tyajata. Tyajata parishvakramamakramanam. Tyajata parishvakramamakramanam. Maitreem bhajata akhila hrijatri.
Thank you. You may please resume your seats. May I now request Professor Kamal Kishore Sharma, Professor of Practice, Area of Strategy, Kochi Campus, to deliver the welcome address.
Hi, good afternoon, all of you. Oh, that was nice. Respected Professor Devashish Chatterjee, Director, IIM Kozhikode, Professor Anand Kuttan, Dean, Faculty Administration, Dean, Professor Sebastian, Dean, Professor Sudarshan, esteemed faculty colleagues, administrative heads, officers, and staff of IIM Kozhikode, and in focus, the students of first ever batch of the undergraduate program of Bachelor's in Management Studies of IIM Kozhikode, and the parents who are with us on the Zoom platform from all over India. Good afternoon. The galaxy of responsible people present here is a testimony to just how much we owe to each of them to make a great institution, great program, and great leaders. On behalf of the IIMK team, that is behind institutionalizing this UG program effort at our Kochi campus, it is my privilege and great pleasure to welcome each one of you to this august occasion as we formally induct our first batch of BMS into the IIMK fold at Kochi campus. I'm delighted to have you all join us in this program inauguration ceremony. A few highlights, you would have seen around this pioneering batch of BMS with 112 students and close to 73% females. More details will ensue when we have the hard work of the admissions department detailed later. The students come from all parts of India, from all walks of life, and they represent the quintessential diversity of India. And notably, more than 90% of them from outside Kerala, representing a true India in the classroom. It's often said that an institution is a reflection of the leader's vision and dedication. We are privileged to witness that firsthand. Some leaders make things happen, others inspire a generation. I'm talking about none other than the architect of what IIM Kozhikode has stood out to be in the last decade and a half, our esteemed director, Professor Debashish Chatterjee. Sir, this event is a testament to the collaborative spirit of our institution, a spirit championed by you and ingrained in the DNA of the institution. The other worthy architects of this program have been Dean Professor Anand Kuttan, who has been always ready with a cool head, guidance, and ready to roll up his sleeves as needed. Associate Dean Professor Venkatraman, I have seen him imagining, breathing, walking, talking, solving a range of challenges that the BMS faced in the last year and more so in the last few weeks. Hats off. Additionally, there was so much support from the past Dean of Programs, Professor Rajesh Upadhyala, the Program Structuring Committee, all of the faculty, and the entire IIMK community, specifically the Kochi campus. We seek the continued support, our faculty and administration, and through the IIMK Collective to take this BMS program to its deserving heights. And to the first batch of BMS, I welcome you on behalf of the entire IIMK community and all our stakeholders into our midst to be part of this wonderful institution. You have earned your place after a demanding selection process, and while this is a moment to celebrate, it's also a call to action. Today, you just don't join a program, you embark on a profound journey of transformation. This is a transition from one chapter to an entirely new world of expectations, new responsibilities, and unprecedented opportunities for achievement. As the pioneers of this program, you have the unique power to shape its destiny and trajectory. Seize this journey of learning and discovery with a hunger for growth. Let your legacy be one of courage and innovation, making all of us proud as you become the trailblazers of IIMK's future. You are now official ambassadors of this great institution, and a responsibility follows wherever and in whatever context you are. Uphold that responsibility, be good citizens, and make all of us proud. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Kamal. May I now invite Professor Ramkumar, Chairperson Admissions, who shepherded the entire admission process for the BMS, to share a few details of the program.
Well, Namaste and a cordial welcome to each and every one of you. I extend my heartfelt greetings to the distinguished students, the stars of today, faculty, deans, director, and esteemed guests in attendance today. It's a profound privilege to address you here at IIM Kozhikode as we embark on the inaugural chapter of the Bachelor of Management Studies program. This occasion marks a pivotal milestone for our esteemed institution. The BMS program embodies a transformative paradigm. It has been meticulously crafted to transcend the traditional confines of academia. It is envisioned as a launchpad for future leaders, innovators, and change makers. At IIMK, you will cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset, embrace a global perspective, and foster an unwavering commitment to ethical leadership. We shall challenge you to think critically, collaborate effectively, and devise solutions to the intricate challenges that beset our world. Our commitment to experiential learning is paramount, and our curriculum is strategically designed upon this foundational principle. To the incoming cohort, you have embarked upon a path replete with extraordinary growth and unparalleled opportunities. As the inaugural batch of this program, your collective journey will indeed be distinctive. Let me be clear, there will inevitably be moments when the path may not unfold as seamlessly as anticipated. Infrastructure may possess certain imperfections. Processes may require refinement, and periods of ambiguity may arise. However, I implore you to remember that these instances are not detriments. They are, in fact, defining features of your pioneering journey. You are not merely students, you are trailblazers. You possess the remarkable opportunity and indeed the responsibility to establish the ethos for all future cohorts. Your fervent passion, constructive feedback, and resilience will indelibly shape the trajectory of this program. You are the architects of the traditions, values, and spirit that will characterize the IIM Kozhikode BMS community. Take great pride in being the vanguards who will leave an enduring legacy upon this institution. As you set forth on this transformative journey, bear in mind that each of the 112 students present here today has been meticulously selected from a candidate pool exceeding 5,000 aspirants from across the country. This selection is a testament to your diligence, your inherent potential, and the confidence we bestow upon you. Approach this program with an open mind and a resolute heart. Seize every opportunity, and together let us endeavor to establish the BMS program as a legacy of excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ramkumar. I would like to now invite our director to say a few words, but sir, before I do that, let me take the liberty and the privilege of introducing him briefly. Professor Debashish Chatterjee, Director of IIM Kozhikode, has taught leadership classes at Harvard University and the Indian Institutes of Management, Calcutta, Lucknow, and Kozhikode for nearly 3 decades. He is the longest-serving director of a first-generation IIM and was reappointed to head IIM Kozhikode for a third 5-year term in June 2023. He has been awarded the prestigious Fulbright Fellowship twice, one for pre-doctoral and one for postdoctoral work, both at the Harvard University. A prolific author, he has authored both fiction and non-fiction and has over 20 books to his credit. His latest book, 1 Minute Wisdom, published by Penguin Books, is making phenomenal waves across the country and outside. His writings have been featured in leading global publications such as Wall Street Journal, Economic Times, and CNN. With 2 decades of experience as a CEO, as an institutional leader, he has trained more than 100,000 managers from Fortune 500 companies and over 50,000 educators globally. Especially to the batch coming in, IIM Kozhikode is over 27 years old, but it was like a Shangri-La, not very well known for a long time, and Professor Chatterjee is credited with transforming IIM Kozhikode from a relatively modest institute to an institute of global reckoning, a globally recognized management school. Under his leadership, the institute is now ranked among the top 3 IIMs in India, and we're going to celebrate that particular event a little later in this evening, and now ranked among the top 70 management institutions worldwide as per the Financial Times ranking. Sir, may I now request you to say a few words to this incoming batch.
How was the music? I can't hear you. Well, I saw this performer yesterday night, and I said, what an idea it would be to have this performance here, right in front of our BMS students, because music is ingrained in our civilization as something that inspires. It's the food of love. It fills a room with possibilities, and more importantly, in the context of management, it prepares you to face the music if you don't perform. Having said that, I would like you to believe that this is a spaceship, and Captain Anand Kuttan is leading the ship with his very expert crew members who are sitting here. And in this spaceship, I see ambitious achievers. I have known a little bit about you. I have found out what you've done. So among those ambitious achievers are people who want to achieve everything they want in life by the time they are 30. And there is a space for you. There is Arjun here who would represent your ambition. If so, see this iconic Arjun, which is our sort of, has become somehow our unofficial mnemonic. And Arjun represents a quality called concentration. If you want to be successful, you have to concentrate. The achievers have their eye on the goal. But the challenge of achievers is that when they move out of the arc of achievement, they find themselves very lonely. We have another bunch of students among you who are anxious explorers. You are exploring other ways of making sense if you're not an achiever. There is hope for you because, if you are exploring the world beyond your personal glory, you have entered the terrain of leadership, because leadership is not just about personal achievement. If this was so, then Tendulkar would be India's most remarkable captain. He's still an icon, but he is not a leader. We are very careful about using the word leader here in this instance. Steve Jobs is not a leader. I don't want to talk about Donald Trump. It will be politically incorrect. But the fact of the matter is this, that we have mistaken leadership for personal achievement. And that's not what constitutes the journey of leadership. Also, there is always space for achievement, personal achievement. So, at this age, you need to understand the distinction. Then there's a third bunch of students who are relaxed, laid-back connectors. You're taking life easy. You're mistaking admission for achievement and arrival, which it is not. This is just the threshold through which you must move, and it's not going to be an easy threshold because you are a unique value proposition. We do not know what you're going to do in 4 years' time. Just as you don't know, there is a sense of expectation, there is a hush of expectation as you came into the room. And I was wondering if I see this bunch of extraordinary minds that have come through a grueling admissions process, 20, 25 years from now, the year 2047, when we want to see this institution in the global league of the top institutions of the world, and you'll be the torchbearers of this institution. Some of you will be CEOs of companies by that time. Some will be a national, opinion maker. Somebody will work for the United Nations, some for major consulting firms, and who knows, somebody will end up becoming the Prime Minister of the country. And my dream is as audacious as that. Because if we don't have that kind of an aspiration, we follow the curve of normalcy. Go study there, get a job, make a name. That's not what this institution is all about, because it is breaking molds. And you are a prime example of how we break molds. This is a standalone graduation program, not integrated. We are not MBAizing your program. We are not giving you hope that you will get into our MBA program. We don't want you to get there because you are unique. You are law unto yourself. You will be iconoclastic. You can make a difference. If only you knew how to be yourself. So there is this Arjuna for achievers. So what about contributors? There is Swami Vivekananda. You can see the statue. The man by the age of 39 had moved the world by dint of his contribution, and he said, this world is something that you have to revisit. This world is transient. The vanities of the world are many, but those only live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. This was a contributor. And look at the impact of that contribution. Then there is those laid-back connectors. You also have a vision. You have an aspiration for yourself. We have a Buddha standing there. Under a banyan tree, you can see two Buddhas, one in Buddha Park, one there. We wanted an improved Buddha, so we got the other one in the Buddha Park. Buddha is not a statue. It is not a person. Buddhahood is a quest, an eternal quest for connection. Ahimsa was the mantra of Buddha. Ahimsa means the ability to make everything, even your alien, as your own. This is Buddha. Connections matter because the world is a hyper-connected space. And if you don't know how to make those connections, how to appreciate achievement of somebody that is not in your frame of reference, those are absolute necessities in a world which demands a little bit of selflessness because all of us are engrossed in pursuits that are purely selfish. So there is room for all of you. You know, you don't have to be of a kind. I don't want you to be molded in the same straitjacket as the MBAs are. That's why we've gotten you here. We wanted to experiment, to feel. What does it mean to have iconic individuals? There's this person whose name is Raksha Kandaswamy. Can you stand up for us? Thank you. Well, can we have the violin play a little bit for Raksha? Raksha is world junior ranked badminton, all England junior silver ranked, and she's a world player in badminton, Croatian International Challenge 2024 gold medalist, Belgian Junior College 2024 gold, and many more. And I'm told Raksha is a very good singer. You are? Come here. I want you to sing impromptu for a while, just to see how you sing. Come in, come. Run. You also play badminton, so you can't be so... You have to be quick-footed, right? Please come here. Just sing a couple of lines.
So since we are inaugurating this event, I'll start with a small Ganesh Vandana, which will last for about 2.5 minutes. वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि श्री गणेशाय धीमहि श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि. Thank you. I can go back?
After this, do you really need a speech? So thank you. I'm meeting the entire cohort tomorrow, and we'll have other things to do. And this is what it is. Somebody who plays world-level badminton can also sing. So you are posing a challenge before my faculty. The best marketing professor has to also teach strategy now with the same intensity, right? So this is the future, and I think our future is in great hands. With this kind of a cohort, we only can hope that we match up to their intensity. You have filled this place with energy, with enthusiasm, with an air of expectation that I did not anticipate. When we were planning this, Anand Kuttan and his team were adamant that they wanted to do it much against the best of advices I got. And we launched it ahead of IIM Bangalore, and we decided that we should be pioneers in what we do, as we always have been. So thank you, my faculty, those parents who are watching on YouTube, my staff members who have worked relentlessly for this to unfold in such a quick time. It is an impossibility within the IIM system, given the kind of things we do, to launch a program with such constraints in such a short time. So the grueling task of living through the first, see, you are the pioneers of India in the kind of education that we're going to provide. So for every pioneer, there's always going to be those teething troubles. You're going to carve your own path where there is none. You have to find a good accommodation for yourself when there is none. You have to find good classrooms when they're not ready yet. But that's the nature of the game. Pioneers don't wait for signals, they don't wait for precedents. They initiate, they create. They're architects of the future, right? And so you are. On behalf of this community called IIM Kozhikode, which is expanding, growing global, we are present in every continent of the world. And so you have friends, you have well-wishers, you have a network of extraordinary human beings. So let's hope that the next Prime Minister comes out of this cohort. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Professor Chatterjee, thank you very much for those inspiring words. We saw this unbridled spirit and uninhibited way of expressing themselves over the last 2 days, and I'm sure these words will spur them on even further. This is indeed a phenomenal batch that we've been blessed to have. On that note, during the admission process and through the time when the admission offers were given, the board, with the approval of the board, we had indicated to the incoming cohort that there would be scholarships granted, So much like the Oscars, the admission team handed me this, a set of 10 scholarship winners to start off this particular batch. And I'm going to read out their names, and I would request them to come onto the stage to join us here. I'll read out the female students first, followed by the male students. This scholarships are based on the performance in the overall admission process, the overall scores. Sanvi Sinha, Tanvi Korani, Surmai Garg, Bimuni Nivedita Rao, Adya Chowdhury. The male students, Rishik Chattopadhyay, Pratham Handa, Vaibhav Goyal, T. Hariharan, and Krishang Bhavesh Shah. I would now like to invite a couple of the incoming batch come here and share their experiences briefly. May I call on Arna Sood and Krishang Shah. Krishang, I know you've been here before, but please do come back. And Arna Sood. This has been a whirlwind inaugural induction for you, so a couple of minutes.
Yogaha Karamasu Kaushalam. It means excellence lies in performing one's duties with skill and dedication. It embodies the spirit of not working hard, but working smart with purpose and efficiency. Good evening and namaste to our respected director, Dr. Debashish Chatterjee, an acclaimed educationist and visionary. Distinguished faculty members, members of the staff, senior colleagues of the PGP batches, and my dear batchmates. It is indeed a privilege to stand here at the prestigious Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode, which stands as a beacon of leadership, innovation, and knowledge. The foundation of the BMS are gathered here for this enriching experience, where for the next couple of days, we will engage in insightful discussions led by thought leaders, all expert in their niche. From the BMS program, I expect to not only gain strong foundation in management skills, but also practical insights that will help me develop decision-making and leadership skills required for the dynamic business world. I'm looking forward to pursue interdisciplinary learning for the first time, with the opportunity to explore minors in subjects like AI, ML, finance and big data, and others, which will broaden my perspective. I'm excited to facilitate this wonderful journey, where we will not just expand our academic horizons, but also forge lifelong friendships, embrace the ethos of Yogaha Karamasu Kaushalam and globalizing Indian thought. These 2 days are not merely a part of our curriculum, but a golden opportunity to transform knowledge into actions and dreams into reality. Thank you.
So, good evening to everyone present here. I am here to tell about my experience with IIMK, the entire admission process, and my aspirations going forward. I am Krishang Shah from Pune, Maharashtra. When I think about how we all got in here, one word comes to my mind. It's unique. Firstly, our journey wasn't paved with previous year question papers. We were the first. Moreover, our interview wasn't a rigid grilling. It was a genuine discussion. And in that discussion, I felt a sense of comfort that was unlike any other interviews I had ever had. It was a space where we were encouraged to be our true selves and I believe that's what allowed us to truly shine. For me, getting into IIM Kozhikode is more than just an achievement. It is a dream I never even knew I had. To be a part of the flagship batch of one of the top management colleges in the country is an incredible honor, and I am still in awe of this opportunity. In just a few days here, I have already been so inspired. I have seen it in the wisdom shared by the dignitaries at our orientation, and I have felt it in every conversation which I have had with all my peers. Getting to know people from such diverse backgrounds has already begun to broaden my perspective in ways I never imagined. My goal while I am here is to seize every opportunity. I want to master marketing and communication skills and pursue my CFA so that I can eventually market financial products. But more than that, I want us, the BMS batch, to set a new standard of excellence for every batch that comes after us. Thank you.
Thank you, Arna and Krishan, for sharing your thoughts and your aspirations. I'm sure IIMK will pretty much get you going in the way you want it. In getting these brilliant minds here to our institution and the promising leaders of tomorrow, as Professor Devashish indicated to us, there's been a whole lot of work going on in a very short time, and it'll be absolutely difficult to count each and every one, even as a formal vote of thanks comes up later on. But we owe it to call upon on stage the launch committee members and the initial UGP administrative team. May I please request you, as I call on you, to come up on stage briefly. Professor Subhashish Dey, Professor Rajesh Upadhyayala, Professor Satish Krishnan, Professor Arkam Mateen, Professor Salman Ali, Professor Vipin Vital, Professor Rajeshwari, and Professor Ramesh Krishnan. And may I also call on, from the administrative team, Colonel Julius, Mr. Dr. Biju Matthew, Mr. Praship Kumar, Ms. Asha Babu, Mr. Mahesh, and Mr. Srikanth. I know Dr. Yamuna is busy elsewhere, otherwise she would also have been here. This team could really take a bow, but actually there are many more names, as they resume their seats. Many more. There's been Rajesh, Mr. Bose, Shekhar Pujara, Anil from our audio-visual computer team, Piju, Reshma, Zina, Dr. Appasaheb Naikal, many more names to call out here today, whose hands have been all coming together to make this happen. I'll leave that later to Professor Rajesh to cover in his vote of thanks. We can't thank you enough. I put Rajesh on the spot, I guess. That's okay. Now to the incoming batch. There is another ritual that we follow. May I request you to stand up? You have this oath of honor with you. So I am going to read out, and I would request you to read out after me, except when I say I, and make a pause, you say your name, right? Okay, here we go. I, as a student of IIM Kozhikode, in the Bachelor of Management Studies program, will take responsibility for my actions and be accountable for its foreseeable consequences. I will hold every human being in high regard, acknowledging the inherent differences and honoring the rights of others to be treated with dignity. I will act with utmost integrity and pursue my study and work, upholding the highest ethical standards. This pledge I make freely and upon my honor. Take your seat. So that kind of covers your rites of passage into the program. Getting out of the program is, of course, in your hands, you know? And in what way you want to get out of the program is also in your hands. From one induction, inaugural celebration, we move seamlessly into another, which we all been thrilled with the news which came through just a few days back. And this is the event of IIM Kozhikode having retained the number 3 position amongst the top management schools in the country as per the NIRF ranking. May I now request Professor Darun Kasilingam, Chairperson of Accreditation, to please come up on stage representing the entire accreditation effort of deans and faculty to share with us.
Thank you so much, Professor Venkat, for that introduction, and thank you, Director Professor Debashish Chatterjee, the deans, the faculty, and everyone gathered here. It's my absolute pleasure to quickly present the NIRF analysis for the year 2025. So I do have a small PPT with me, which will probably take a couple of minutes of a time. So let me just quickly. Okay, all right. So this is the moment when we were announced the hat-trick people. So a couple of deans, Professor Deepa and Professor Sebastian and myself, we were there in Delhi. And you can see that we have the union minister there along with chairman of AICT, NBA and other dignitaries. So this was when, the heart that races for that time when the result is announced. Slowly we were able to actually breathe again until this particular moment. So I thought that we would quickly share this picture with you guys. So quickly, I'm going to present a couple of slides on decoding the NIRF India Rankings 2025. So that's the result that you would find on the website. I want you to pay some specific emphasis to the scores that you see here, people. So on third, we have Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode at 79.85 points, and this is based on multiple parameters, which I'll be showing you in some time. And if you look at the institutes that are above us, the immediate one that is above us, you can see that there is barely a 1.6 score difference. This was not the case 8 years ago, people, right? So I'll be presenting some more data going ahead, but this is an indication that IIM Bangalore and the other leading IIMs, the legacy IIMs, are within an arm's reach. So quickly talking about the parameters that are used for evaluating NIRF. So we have 5 different variables which further boil down into multiple variables. One being teaching, learning and resources. Another is the research and professional practice, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity, and finally the perception score as well, each of which carries a different weightage. The highest weightage for teaching, learning and resources and research and professional practice. So I'm going to quickly talk about the results itself. So this ranking is actually based on the financial year 2023-2024 data. Our overall score is 79.85. This is an improvement of 1.95 points over the previous year, people. And do note that this is scaled score. Even a 1 point increase has significant implications and significant effort that went in for achieving this particular target. So that's something that goes to all of us for every contribution that you have done to the institution. And IIM Ahmedabad and Bangalore are ahead of us. IIM Bangalore is just ahead of us by 1.71 points. And if you compare this to 2 years ago, when we achieved the first time the third position in the NIRF rankings, so we had a gap of 4.42 points with IIM Bangalore, people, right? So last year, the gap further narrowed to 3.26, and now we are at 1.71. We are just, again, at an arm's reach to IIM Bangalore. So I have a dashboard here, people, so which is an interactive dashboard which actually shows the growth that we have achieved over the years. So this is a presentation of 10 years worth of data altogether, and it compares our data with the other IIMs that are there in the country. So you can see here that the data that you see here is associated with IIMK, and you would see that in most of the parameters, there is an exponential growth that we have achieved. So if you look at teaching, learning and resources, we started with little around 80 in 2018, but then today we stand significantly at 87.76. So again, quickly talking about teaching and learning resources, one of the major component that comprises of this particular variable is the individual student expenditure at the institution, the dollar value we spend per student at the institution, right? So that is a significant component. In addition to that, the student strength also plays a significant role. And over the past few years, the physical infrastructure at IIMK has actually, we do not have the space to construct further buildings. So that is when in the last couple of years, the doctoral programs have actually graduated many students. Last year, we had the highest number of graduating doctoral students, which helped us achieve this growth that we see here. So that's one. Another is the research and professional practice. So research and professional practice comprises of the number of publications, the quality of publications in QN journals as far as the Web of Science rankings are concerned. And it also includes the dollar revenue that an institution earns via executive education and consulting. So we have achieved an exponential growth, especially after COVID, attributing to the EMDP programs, which have the hybrid component. So that has led us to an exponential increase in the research and professional practice scores. You would also see that our perception score has improved. We are not as close to IIM Bangalore yet. The only difference between IIM Bangalore and the Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode is this perception score, which is taken via a survey that is largely circulated to industry folk and also the faculties of peer institutions people. That's the only place where we lag as compared to IIM Bangalore. Graduation outcomes, as you can see, year on year, we have more than 90 in terms of the graduation outcome scores. This comprises of the percentage placements and also the median salary figures. The outreach and inclusivity, so this is where diversity really comes in, and we are able to see that in the BMS batch as well. Gender diversity, regional diversity, diversity in terms of economic capabilities of students and their families. So you can see here that looking at it from that perspective, here again, we have reached an exponential growth. Of course, the growth has stabilized almost in the last few years. That's because we have reached the maximum cap that's possible in this space. So that's IIMK for you people. And if you look at the other IIMs, so do keep in mind that we have a linear or an exponential growth on multiple parameters, right? So if I quickly compare this with the other IIMs, updating this graph, you'd see a sort of like a linear growth or sort of like a stable with a slope zero, if you were to put it in technical terms, for multiple institutions. So that's where we are absolutely sure that we are growing. We are absolutely sure that we are in a pool that promises growth for all stakeholders of the institution. So that's a quick dashboard which will be available for all of you to look around. A quick comparison of NIRF 2025 scores, people. So if you look at the FRU score, this is the financial resources and utilization. So this is where we have improved over the years in the last 5 years or so. So this is something that exclusively focuses on the amount of dollar value that is spent on a per student basis, providing facilities, infrastructure. Operational expenditure is also included to an extent in this particular score. PU and QP, so these are publications and the quality of publications, people. So if you look at the scores of IIMK as compared to the other IIMs, you would see that it is almost on par with Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Lucknow and the other IIMs as well. But you would see that IIT Delhi actually has a significantly higher publication and quality of publication score. That's because being an IIT, they can certainly have interdisciplinary research like in fields of waste management or in fields of environmental management. So all of that gets included, which as an IIM, we are not privy to. So that's the gap between Delhi and us. And then if you look at the perception score, so this is what I was talking to you some time ago, people. So if you look at IIMK score, we are at a 74.26 in perception, whereas Bangalore is at 100 in perception. So right now, the focus of the institution should be to change the mindset of all the stakeholders, right? So we are an institution that has performed on par with the legacy IIMs on every other parameter except the perception score. So this is where our focus should be going ahead, where we influence all the stakeholders of the institution and make them know of what we are doing here at the institution, right? So that's a quick analysis of NIRF scores itself, people. So thank you so much for having me, all of you. So I hope the institutional efforts will also be directed towards all these areas so that we would continue to grow in NIRF and other ranking frameworks which are global in nature like QS and FT. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Darun, for dissecting the NIRF rankings for us. I now request Professor Debashish Chatterjee to share his thoughts on this particular occasion of the NIRF ranking. Could I get it?
I recall when I came here for the first time, entered this institution in my role as director in 2009, if I had shared this score with the community here, they would have said I'm having a pipe dream, or I had a nightmare, and I'm projecting something that is unrealistic. I couldn't have imagined that in such a short span of time, this institution would define how management would be taught in this country, and perhaps by extension, rest of the world. The three planks on which IIM Kozhikode's march to excellence has been possible, in my modest opinion, one of them would be digitization. And I would give credit to my predecessors who made digitization a futuristic move, because in 2001 we went digital and we used to have something called on-site learning. Nobody in India was really thinking in the manner that IIM Kozhikode's leadership was thinking. When I came in, I thought this would be worth scaling up, but I couldn't scale up. That is not my cup of tea. There are people in the system who know how to scale up. So our digital footprints were the reason why the dispersal of the value that we created here was accelerated. People came to know about us much faster than they would have if we did not go digital. You know, my predecessor told me that if you have to meet the minister in Delhi on an emergency, it's better to take a flight through Dubai. Because of geographical constraints, we didn't have the kind of, that was the kind of constraint under which the crisis prompted innovation, and we thought we had to go digital because that was our survival, right? But then we ended up being pioneers in that. Others started following, but we still remain pioneers in that form of education, which is now called hybrid mode. So we are digital, but we also allow campus exposure to those who are doing these long-term courses in EPGP and other programs. The second element of our second plank of excellence was diversification, for which I can claim some credit. Not all of it, because diversification is not my doing alone. We started with gender diversity, if you recall, and I earned the wrath of a lot of my colleagues who said that I was tampering with CAT exams and I was allowing more women to come to the system. This cohort of BMS has 75%, almost 75% women than men. How did it happen? It happened because there was an aspiration that was locked up, that was bottled up in India. And it wasn't a level playing field for women who were taking the CAT exam. But after we did what we did in 2013, the other IIMs had to follow. They had no choice. ISB had to follow. Today you see the average ratio of boys to girls or men to women would be 70-30 as opposed to 90-10 when we did this, right? That was not the only element of diversity. We diversified in terms of recruiting people. I recruited somebody from Oxford University with a specialization in business history, somebody from Santiniketan, a guy who had done his PhD in Mandarin on China. I recruited such people. It was unusual to bring in this kind of elements, but they contributed in no small measure to our diversification. Now we can see we can think and dream of several kinds of things, because diversity is the hotbed for innovation. Without that, innovation is very difficult, because we ape each other, we imitate each other. The only way to break out of that is to increase the diversity quotient. In theory, we'll know that, but in practice, we demonstrated, IIM Kozhikode demonstrated that it is a diversity champion. It is the number one in India in inclusiveness and outreach. This is certified not by us, but by NIRF, by our peers. Everybody's talking about it. The third D is not a very elegant word. It's called disruption. I wish there could be a better word for it. Disruption is not eruption. Disruption is a creative way of establishing your unique value proposition against the current. What did we disrupt? Virtually everything. Virtually everything. The violin that was being played is very unlike a management school. Have you seen one where there's pipe music in the corridors? You haven't seen one. Have you seen hostels of students named after music ragas? L. Subramaniam, who plays the violin, world-class violin player, he came here, he said, I go to music colleges all over the world, but I haven't seen a single student hostel that honors music, not even music colleges. And so, as we went forward, we realized that this extraordinary amount of churning that is happening within the institution, it is because of the diversity. We started the Liberal Studies MBA, and we recognized that bankers who came to recruit, ideally for MBA in finance and banking, were recruiting liberal studies students. Why were they recruiting liberal studies students? Because they thought banking could be learned, but the attitude with which these guys come, LSM comes, cannot be. So we began to break into how people would be recruited. Strangely, we changed the placement, definition of placement into care. It is just in its teething stages. What is care? It is corporate access, readiness, and engagement. We are not in the business of providing placement. We are going to make you employable. There are no jobs out there. There are only customers for your talent. You have to find your customers. That's your personal journey. The institution will only help you, will assist you. So this obsession with placements and all of that, please be aware of that, because this obsession is killing your learning ability. Because learning is a very intrinsic thing. You learn for the sake of learning, the joy of learning, the bliss of learning, not for a job. Job is what you do, learning is what you become, right? These are two different dimensions altogether. When you mix up the two, you are mismeasuring your learning in terms of how much money you make. There are a lot of accrediting bodies that measure a business school's performance based on jobs their students get. I said, come on, earning cannot be equal to learning. I can be a scamster and make so much money. Does it mean that I am ranked among the best brains in the country? I cannot be. Come on. The person who was reporting to me in my first job used to goof up, used to go with a copy of Economic Times and lunchbox and goof up in office. And he was transferred from my office in Flora Fountain to Mahalakshmi. And he quit the job because he was transferred. He ended up showing up in newspapers as Harshad Mehta, the biggest scamster India has seen. Right? So can I say Harshad Mehta comes from a school of learning? No, of course his learning was lopsided. Slightly lopsided as you'd assume. So this third element of what you call disruption was the creative way of exploring the universe of possibilities. Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwar. The creator, the maintainer and the destroyer. These are the three elemental aspects of institutional life, organizational life, cosmic life. And we have responded to our larger goal in globalizing Indian thought. Rank 3 does not matter to me, because the ones who have been ranked 4, 5, 6 are not far away. Ranks may go, but the class will not go. Ranks will come and go. We may be ranked 1, for all that you know. Sometime in the future, we aspire to be 1. But even if 1 doesn't come, the class that we represent, the quality of education that happens here, the quality of conversation that breeds in this space is what makes us so unique. And so, let's give a standing ovation to the community that has made it possible. Would you please stand on your feet? And not yet. I am the conductor of the orchestra. We have a 14 inches applause. We have a protocol here that the BMS students have to learn. Your hands have to be separated from each other by 14 inches, and then you applaud for a good half a minute, please. Can we start now? Yeah. All right, great. Well, I wanted some music to follow. Come on, this is a crescendo. We have to have some music. Please sit down. You don't have to stand up. Please sit down. Now. All right. You know, I would like to, before I can, yes, please applaud. Yeah, yes. Well, my very deep and heartfelt gratitude to the community that made it possible, particularly to the accreditation team, which has been relentless. You know, there's somebody called Deepa Sethi who's sitting here, incorrigible enthusiasm, and the ability to push the faculty to respond. Our alumni should respond to this, you know, these scores that shore up our perception scores. You know, because our alumni are not responding in full measure, our perception scores are not what we are today. It will be 100 out of 100 tomorrow. It's a matter of time. But it takes a while. But, you know, I cannot leave this without acknowledging the contribution that this team has made under her leadership. And the relentless, and they are sitting here very quietly. She was hiding behind us when I asked her to cut a cake, take the initiative. So these are the people, the unseen hands that make this institution run. I often get the credit for some things I haven't done, and I get discredited for something I haven't done either. But the fact of the matter is, this institution is a community. It is built by the relentless effort of the community, and the only goal we have is the goal of excellence. And you saw a demonstration of that when we had our student come and perform here. You will see this demonstrated quietly in such a manner that that will even surprise you. It surprises me when my office immediately sends me a tweet and says, you know, you have not acknowledged the rest of the accreditation team. So Deepa Sethi, Dharun Kasilingam, Sandhya, Surya, Ashwini, Aditya, and Eldo. Give them a big hand, please. Thank you. So there is absolutely nothing that can come now between us and the three-tier cake. If there is another speech, please reject it. Thank you so much. Thanks for your attention. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. It's indeed almost an emotional moment. But then, oh, what a cake. Huh? You made a reference to the cake, so may I, sir, invite you, the deans, and maybe a couple of students. Come up, please. Pragya Sharma and Vaibhav to join the director and the deans to celebrate the cake. And maybe some music. They haven't been prepped for more, I guess. We really don't want the music to stop, do we? Right? But then the show goes on. But this time, let me call on Professor Rajesh Upadhyaya. I don't know how many of you, most of you here, the faculty would know, but may not be the students. Professor Rajesh is the dean under whose leadership the BMS started. So that's okay. That's okay. It's my job to put you on the spot. Please deliver the word of thanks.
Thanks. So, good evening. So, on this momentous and celebratory occasion that we all have today, it's indeed a privilege for me to propose the vote of thanks. Let me, at the outset, thank our beloved director, Professor Debashish Chatterjee, for envisioning the direction of this institution, as well as steering us towards this direction. The third rank at NIRF for the third consecutive time, as well as the launch of the Bachelors of Management Studies program, signifies steps in achieving our vision, globalizing Indian thought. Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir, due to the program launch committee led ably by the chairperson of the launch committee and the current team programs, Professor Anandakottan B. Unithan. His ability to envision, craft, and execute the launch of the program is what made the launch impactful and smooth. I would like to thank Professor Deepa Sethi, Dean, Outreach, Executive Education and Internationalization, past, and Executive Chair, current, for the globe, for our immense efforts and guidance towards projecting IIMK as part of many ranking exercises, especially NIRF. Thanks are also due to the Dean, Faculty Administration and Development, Professor Sebastian, for helping in augmentation of faculty resources at the Institute, which is an important step towards achieving our expansion plan. Thanks to Professor Sudarshan, Dean Executive Education, for providing us the campus infrastructure and executive education facilities for the stay of our undergraduate students for the couple of days at this campus. The administrative activities of Kochi UG program were not easy to navigate. Despite the stringent timelines, Professor Venkatraman led with ease as Associate Dean of Kochi campus. I have a long list here to thank at this point in time. Please do bear with me. Let me also thank the team led by Professor Sebastian in the past and currently by Professor Darun for accreditation office led by Ms. Sandhya for their efforts in projecting IIMK as part of the NIRF. These efforts have been useful in shaping perception of students across multiple programs offered by IIMK. A launch of a significant program like EG would not have been possible without the efforts of many key personnel as well as departments. Let me, at the outset, thank the launch committee. As part of the launch committee, I would like to specifically mention Professor Vipin, P. Vittal, Professor Rajeshwari, and Professor Arkam, who played a pivotal role in shaping the program structure after due consultations with a variety of stakeholders. Thanks are also due to other launch committee members, Professor Subhashish Dey, Professor Ramesh Krishnan, Professor Salman Ali, Professor Satish Krishnan, and Professor Venkatraman for providing critical and key inputs at appropriate junctures. Let me thank the immense support always received from Mr. Sojan George, Mr. Saranji, Mr. Vikas Panikkar, and others at Director's Office on this journey towards this inaugural ceremony of the BMS batch. Let me thank my colleague Professor Ramkumar PN, Chairperson Admissions, for shaping the admission policy for IIMK UG program. The team at Admission Office, led by the dynamic Dr. Yamuna George, made the process of both admission and registration easy. Thanks to them and all the faculty and staff involved in the process of admission and registration process for the students. So thanks are due to the UGP administration team at IIM Kozhikode, including Mr. Prashid Kumar, Ms. Asha Babu, Ms. Reshma Ravindran, Ms. Zeena, Dr. Biju Machu, Lieutenant Colonel Suresh Anthony, and Mr. Mahesh, without whom it would not have been possible to reach the current destination. Of course, there are two administrative teams that are operating, one at the Kozhikode campus and another at Kochi campus. Thanks are also due to the UGP administration team at Kochi campus, led by SAO, Mr. Madhusudan PG, ably assisted by Mr. Raghupati Hari and Mr. Anu Francis John, who enabled the smooth transitions at the Kochi campus in the current Info Park campus so that the BMS can start at the existing Atulya building before we can move to the QSAT metro site, which is underway. Special thanks are also due to the BMS team led by its manager, Mr. Srikant Narayanan, Mr. Leon, and Mr. Akhil. Let me also thank all the faculty stationed at Kochi campus who participated in the initial induction program despite their busy schedules. I would also place on record here that the whole process leading to this event would not have been possible without the support of General Administration, led by Lieutenant Colonel Julius George, Accounts team led by Dr. Lakshmi Vishwanathan, Academic Administration led by Mr. Vinod Kumar, Library and Information Center led by Dr. Appasab Naikal, Computer Center led by Mr. Shekhar Pujari, Engineering team led by Mr. Anandrao Patil, Rajesh Anandrao Patil. Thanks to the students who have been patiently with us through this journey of inaugural and their parents for placing your trust in the hands of this institution. Your trust definitely makes us want to do more. If I have inadvertently missed out anyone, please do accept my apologies. It was not definitely deliberate nor intentional. On behalf of the launch committee, I look forward to your continued support to this new baby on the campus. Thank you. And last announcement from my side. We would like everyone to come on stage so that we can have a picture with the NIRF. Whosoever can fit it. Students. And thanks to the music team. You are exemplary today.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, after this, of course. You have to join me. Stand for the national anthem. May I request everyone to please rise for the national anthem. Shajan?
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. So with this, we come to the close of the ceremony. There are some snacks and goodies available on all the floors. On the first floor, right outside, staff and faculty, please. And for the students on the second floor and possibly the third floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. May I request the students to stay back while the director, deans, and the faculty and the staff leave the hall. There is also a couple of announcements to be made for them. So, the faculty and staff get a heads up, on the snack box too, that way.